This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
No.
Y'all,
Just
this
stop.
is a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. Happy Monday, everybody. Tori Shulman back in the house.
What's up?
What's up?
Thank you for the lukewarm applause.
Well,
No,
you
I'm
said
kidding.
what's
That was
up
actually
weird.
pretty good for
It
here.
was good
Yeah.
for me, actually. So
No,
thank
for
you.
here, the studio.
Oh, that's
they
true.
don't care.
No, they don't.
Nobody
They're
cares.
tired. They're working. They're working so hard. Thank you, everyone. I went home for a vacation. I found out my mom had a very scary episode. She's still in the ICU. It is still very serious, but we got her out of the dire condition she was in with a lot of music, a lot of love. And a lot of talking to her right in her ear about fighting. So for anyone out there going through it, I got your back because it is not easy.
Yeah, and I'm sure you being there really helped out.
You know what?
In all
It
seriousness.
did.
Yes.
It really did. I think.
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
Thank
welcome
you.
back. We
Thank you,
missed
Jeff. Appreciate
All
it.
right, guys. Stars like Tori were on the picket lines this weekend. She wasn't.
I wasn't.
Showing their support for the actors' strike. So Susan Sarandon was out in New York City marching with actors. Also in New York, Jason Sudeikis was seen picketing outside NBC Rockefeller Center, his old home, when he was on Saturday Night Live. Rosario Dawson joined the strike outside the Warner Brothers studio in Burbank. And Mandy Moore,
Your
here she is
favorite.
with This Is Us co-star on the picket line, including Chrissy Metz, who played her daughter Kate, if you remember. And George Clooney is also speaking out in his statement. He said, actors and writers in large numbers have lost their ability to make a living. For our industry to survive, that has to change. But media mogul Barry Diller told CBS he thinks A-list actors and studio executives should take a pay cut. Let's watch.
Both the executives and the most paid actors should take a 25% pay cut to try and narrow the difference between those who get highly paid and those that don't.
There's an argument for that. I don't know if 25% is the number, but there's something inside me that says not just Hollywood, but across the board, maybe those numbers should kind of come a little closer. No? Not for you?
No, I understand. When I've been very honest with the first job that I had, which I was very grateful for, my full-time job in radio. My co-host famously made over $20 million, and I could hardly pay my rent. So I had to, and it was the three of us on the show in terms of the billing. I had far less experience. This was my first big show. They had been doing this for decades at this point, but the disparity was great enough that my life was very different than what they were living and what I had to do. So I do feel that it is important to bridge a gap in a way that is equitable and responsible to all parties involved. I just don't know what that looks like because we also know there's a disparity within the 1%, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I don't know what those numbers, I don't know what that breakdown looks like.
I think we're talking, yeah, you're right, number-wise, but generalization, I'm talking about like big companies, no matter what it is, right? Specifically Amazon. I'm like, why do you need that much money when I'm hearing stories about people defecating in bags? I don't even know if that's true. That's alleged, but it's like, you got to bridge that gap a little bit, Al, but they're not bringing numbers to the box office in this case.
That's what, I think when we use terms like equitable, you should do that if what we're asking from everybody is the same, but we're not. We're saying that when we put Erica Cobb's name on a marquee, people show up and buy tickets.
Right.
People aren't showing up to see the person in the background sipping coffee with no lines. No different than when an offensive tackle is not getting paid what Patrick Mahomes is. He's the headliner. He's the reason. He's the person that's filling that stadium. He's the person that's getting people to watch the Super Bowl. When you have marquee names, you can find the number, the exact number, just like we did this weekend with Taylor Swift, about how much money that person brings into a metropolitan area. No different than LeBron James. When the Cavs or whatever, the Lakers roll into your city, you can figure out how much money the nightclubs made, how much money the hotels made, how much money the Uber drivers made. So those names do deserve that whatever they're getting paid because you can prove that that's what they're worth.
The numbers are.
But that's my issue. I don't know if an Amazon or Hulu head of director can say the same. I don't know if that person couldn't be replaced and there wouldn't be there would be a market drop off.
Well, I just think this is a bit of a distraction. Barry Diller's trying to talk about A-list actors, and what we're really concentrating on is the $27 million head of streaming people that get that money and refuse to pay the actors. This to me is like, well, then let's play George Clooney a little bit less. No. Stick to the union strike. You are paying an outrageous amount to yourself and you're not letting us live. Stick with that strike. To me, this is deflection, and now we're getting to George Clooney and equitable this and that. No, the streaming setup does not work in this day and age to get paid as a writer and actor, period. Stop with all the other actors. We're all on one team and we're all fighting together.
Wait, I know we have to move on, but I do want to bring this up because you said you don't know if you can figure out how other people being involved or the equality or how much they're contributing versus what they're giving. And I disagree with that because I think for every George Clooney out there, we know how many people it takes to make a George Clooney. We know how much support it takes to make a George Clooney. George Clooney knows that. And I'm not saying that because George Clooney should be the one that's being put out there and disparaged in any way. I'm simply saying that that's a cop-out in my experience, simply because I'm someone who pays for other people to make me. So everybody knows what that number is, and I think that's important.
I would argue that those people, like if you take Rihanna's name off of Fenty, that's going to be a problem. You can replace the chemists that are making the product. You can replace the people that are selling the product. You can replace where you sell that product. But if you take Rihanna's name off of Fenty, it's now just a beauty line, and it is not clocking in at $1 billion. The name is what people come for. I didn't make that rule, but the headliner is who people show up for. You take Beyonce off of a tour headlining schedule, there's going to be a difference in ticket sales.
But that's also a reason why Beyonce has had the same team for 10 plus years, because she understands the value of those people that don't share that name.
Just like we can kind of agree on it.
I'm not saying they're not valuable.
No, I think we all make good points, but we can't even agree on something. How do you think the unions are doing? That's why we're still locked in. I'm sure we're going to talk more about this because it's not ending anytime soon, in my opinion.
I say let's knock it out now, Jeff.
Let's get me and Alan a row. All right, the wait is over. The first ever Golden Bachelor, well, he's here. His name is Gary Turner, and he's a 70. I want to peek at this guy. He's 71.
I know.
Get real.
I know.
71-year-old widower from Indiana. He will be the first ever senior bachelor come this fall. Gary has 2 daughters and 2 granddaughters. His late wife passed away in 2017, and he told GMA what she would think of him being on the show. Let's watch.
I have her picture on a dresser in my closet. Every morning I give her the nod. So what do you think about this? For a while it was like I was having a hard time figuring out if she would be okay. But we always told each other, when one of us goes, we want the other one to be happy. She's up there rooting. She's saying, yeah, Gary, do this.
Oh, man, I fell in love with that
dude,
guy.
what happened at the end? I fell for Gary.
I did too. I was ready to mock this, and now I'm Team Gary.
Go Gary!
Yeah, you are a reality show famous. So, what do you think about this? Do you think this will hit?
After that plug, after that was pretty good.
What got you about that?
I don't know. I think just relatability, right? You want to cheer for him. I think that's what reality TV is. You need someone to really cheer for. You need someone to really hate. Both of those are a big part of how that thing works, whatever that machine is that goes like this.
The gears.
The gears, yes. Yeah, but I think people are pulling for Gary now after that.
Of course. I've been on this since day one when they were casting, because I have a friend whose mother would have been perfect for this. And to me, I look at people who have been together for, our parents, my parents and my husband's parents have been together for over 40 years. And you think about what happens when you lose someone who's been such a spend your life partner. And there should be another chance. And I was so excited about this from the beginning because of this particular situation. But now meeting Gary, I think is going to be a hit.
Gary from
very successful.
From Indiana. Take a look at this. You can see a little bit of his hearing aids, which you wouldn't see at a normal Bachelor. Take a look. They're really opening up and letting us see Gary.
Right, yeah. I think, I mean, look at Erica's dad. Your dad should be on the cover of a magazine. And I mean,
for real.
Honestly, and he doesn't even have any Hollywood prep and all that kind of stuff. And he just looks like that. You're telling me that's not a face that could find somebody and have another good 20, 30 years with somebody?
Yeah, I've been telling people.
That's right. And that's what generation is watching The Bachelor? This generation, the older generation, the golden generation, I should say. It's a brilliant move on my part because.
On your part?
On their part, in my mind, it's a good idea.
I think you did good too.
Thanks so much.
Welcome back, Tony.
Thanks.
Coming up on DBL, our interview with actress Annie Murphy from Schitt's Creek. Stick around. She's very funny and adorable, just like Gary.
She's just like Gary. DBL. This show is amazing.
There's a lot going on down here.
I would have been part of the Mile High Club.
Yeah.
So on point.
But I'm going to have a conversation about what's happening now.
Cool.
Hello.
Just saying hi.
Hi.
Did you see Fran Drescher give her speech? You guys talked about it on the show?
We did. Were you not watching that show when you were gone?
I didn't at all.
She was on our show.
The nanny was on?
Yeah.
She's on like 5 times.
I've seen the nanny here, but now as the SAG president
You
making
can call her Fran Drescher. We're both professionals.
So there's a clip on the nanny where they're going to dinner and there's a strike outside, and in the nanny she goes like this. As the nanny, she goes, "Oh yeah, I do all the time." She goes, "My mother always taught me 3 things: 1, something about shoes; 2, something about a bra; and 3, never cross a picket line." And so you see the nanny, there's an old episode, she's like, "I gotta stand with the picket line." And Mr. Sheffield, her hilarious boss, is like, "No, we gotta go." So he pulls her away, and the camera takes it, and that's the head of the picture. Nanny stands for the strike. And it's.
I felt like we just watched the whole episode.
Did you get it?
How did you not get it?
I've never watched it.
The nanny?
Yeah.
This is good. I like this story.
It's really well written. At one point, their butler, this is my favorite line from the nanny, he's cutting a steak and he goes, "Niles, this is tough." And he goes, "So is life." And then they move on. Someone laughed up there.
My high school teacher used to tell me he would go, "Life's hard, then you die."
Then you
That's
die.
what he would say when we do our homework.
It's true. And every time I
That's
was,
depression talking through your high school teacher.
but every time
I don't know if you should be telling kids that.
No, every time I was sad during the weekend, I would have Kelly say, "YMIA, your mom is alive." And that brought me back.
That's not an acronym.
Welcome back. Singer Bebe Rexha appears to have put her boyfriend on blast. I don't know, she did. She recently shared a screenshot of an alleged text message from her boyfriend criticizing her weight gain. So the message goes on to say, "You gained 35 pounds. Obviously you gain weight and your face changes. Should I pretend it didn't happen and that it's okay? Come on, I gained 3 pounds and you call me chubs and fat." Bebe has also addressed being fat shamed online. She said it sucks, but it goes with the territory.
You have something to say.
I don't like this new thing where we're shaming people from a text. This is the text message she put out. This is how long it is. And she put this out online for everyone to see her business. And how long is the chain? It could be a mile long. And then you put out his business where he looks bad fat shaming her and you want everybody to jump on board and hate him too. I understand there's fat shaming when you address some of these things, but what's with this new trend of putting everybody's dirt out there? I don't like
this. This goes way deeper. We can talk about putting people's stuff out there and taking it out of context, but what he wrote to her was loving, and it was beautiful, and it was something I would love for somebody to send to my daughter. He came off so good. The thing is, Jeff, no one's going to read that entire message that he said. He was saying that I was trying to reassure you that, yes, she said, she asked, do I look different? And he said, you've gained weight, so your face is going to change. I still love you. I still think you're beautiful. But she didn't post any of that.
No.
She just took that one little sliver of what he said, and it was honestly one of the most foul acts of betrayal that I have ever seen in a relationship. And this is why I said last week that taking things out of context it's such a violation of what you have when you have a bond between two people, whether you're in a relationship or just friends. You can make somebody look like anything when you take a snippet of something and then frame it a certain way. And I just thought it was really foul, Erica. Sorry to take some
real
time.
quickly, I just want to clarify the Jonah Hill story with his ex. She waited, and you weren't here, Tori. She waited to post things that he wrote to her that were offensive in her mind till after he had the baby.
The baby, I saw that.
And then she posted. So that's what Al's referring to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I might be old school, but I do believe in not trying to actively hurt other people because you will hurt yourself before you ever touch someone else. That's just how energy works, in my opinion. When you are putting out messages, I think ultimately, while I understand the reasons why people need support, and sometimes the only way that you can get support is in a group setting.
Yeah, right.
Group therapy may be the better way to go on that.
Than posting this.
Because it's kind of like it's a no-win situation. And I know that that's going to sound, for a lot of especially younger women, very anti-female, but I'm telling you, like, I'm 42 years old. I've been around, I've seen a lot of things. If I would have been vindictive for every time something happened to me in a relationship and some pretty foul things did, and not accept my responsibility for my part in it, then I wouldn't get to sit and share my testimony about it right now. So I would think about, like, you know, are you here for a good time? Are you here for a long time? Most of us are here for a long time, so keep that in consideration.
Tori, send me your thoughts on text message and I'll post it, okay? Because we're out of time.
Cool,
All right,
cool.
we'll be right back.
You stink.
These are my pups. Total cuties, right? Well, how do we keep them from getting too hot? With all of our furry loved ones in mind, I went to these sources to get the fast facts.
No, it's not safe to leave your dog in the car in the heat, even in the shade or with windows cracked.
The most common thing that we see causing heat-related illness and heat stroke is pets that are left in cars.
The ASPCA warns young, old, overweight, thick-coated, and flat-faced pets are at most risk for overheating.
Really above 65 degrees or so, that temperature is going to raise pretty substantially.
Yes, grooming habits should be adjusted for the summer. Brush out excess fluff and trim extra length that could be packing in the heat, and to help manage shedding around the house. But our experts say a full summer shave could lead to sunburn, even overheating.
Their coat is in general meant to be adaptive for the season.
Yes, the pavement can get too hot for pets' paws.
I think if you are questioning it, put your hand down and hold your hand down there and see if it's comfortable for you. If it doesn't feel comfortable for you, it's not comfortable for them.
Avoid blacktop, opting for cooler sidewalks and soft grass when possible.
They do have this rough keratin surface on the bottom of the paw, but it is not impenetrable.
And don't feel guilty if your pup isn't getting as much outside time on these hottest days.
The majority of people are great pet owners, and so they want to get them outside. They want them to have fun. That happens, and it's fairly hot out. They can overheat pretty quickly.
Keep them busy with indoor exercise and enrichment activities.
Don't push them. If you can't handle it, they definitely can't.
Make sure your dog also has plenty of water. If you are planning a day outdoors, pack them their own water bottle and take plenty of breaks. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
Welcome back to DBL. Earlier, we sat down with fan favorite from Schitt's Creek, Annie Murphy. Now she's voicing the lead of an adult animated comedy. Check it out. Please welcome Emmy winner Annie Murphy.
Yeah. Annie, we're all such big fans here. So happy to have you. Let's jump right in because Annie, you're voicing Petey, and praise Petey, of course, and her apartment burns down, forcing her to start a new life. How much of this can you actually relate to?
I can relate to a lot of it. My apartment did, in fact, burn down,
Oh,
and I
my
lost all of my
no.
earthly possessions. So yeah, so there are some similarities between me and Petey. Now that I think about it, now that you pointed out, thank you.
Yeah, and I don't know why I laughed. You're like, my apartment burned down. Ha ha ha. I don't know why I did that. I don't know why. You just make me laugh. I don't know why. Yeah.
I know. How much do you relate to the cult leader part of it?
I'm glad I can say not that much.
Okay, good.
Like that's where the dissimilarities start creeping in.
That's the answer you have to give. You have to be like, I don't know why, I can't relate to any of that. But there's no way that you're on set and you're reading the script and you're going through it where you're going, I think Petey's doing a good job, but this is what I would do if I had a call. Was there anything where you're like, if I had a call, I think I might do this?
I could very much get behind her first decree, which is no more human sacrifices.
Yes.
I feel like I would be on the same page in that sense.
That's a good move there.
Yeah.
Of course, we have to bring up Alexis because we all loved Schitt's Creek. How much of the show did you get to improvise?
Very little.
Really?
Despite, the massive improvisational talent that is, Eugene and Catherine, we would always shoot to script. And then if anyone had, something that they wanted to try out, it didn't necessarily make it in. It rarely made it in, but we always had the opportunity to kind of give something a shot if.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Now, how similar to Alexis are you? When fans meet you, do they expect to see Alexis?
They do, and often I get like, "You kind of look like that girl from Schitt's Creek," because I am. This is me like done up today.
Yes. Top knot, big shirt.
Yes, exactly. I put in much less effort than Alexis does.
So it's so ironic. Me and my wife sat down yesterday and we watched the first season of Black Mirror. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm interviewing Annie tomorrow. That's so wild. So anyways, how close do you relate to this Black Mirror thing? And I got to know if it gets scary when you were filming it all, because yours was pretty funny, to be honest with you. But how about that song, Tap In? Did you have to learn that song from Sweetie, or did you already know that song?
I knew it, but not as well as I needed to for the show. So Salma Hayek and I actually just spent many, many hours just listening to it on repeat and trying to get the lyrics down. I don't know if we were successful, but we put in the time anyway.
Totally successful, because me and my wife were talking. I'm like, do you think she knew that? I'm like, I'm going to ask her that tomorrow. I'm like, do you think she knew that song? And you really played it off like you just had it on repeat on your way to work or something. So you pulled it off. You're a good actress.
Thank you.
Well, we got to talk about comfort shows. Now, you said that The Office is your favorite. Mine is Veep, for sure. How many times do you think you've rewatched The Office? Like, can you get a round number?
I think I've probably watched it 5 times now.
That's good. That's a good start. Yeah. 5 more, you'll have all the words memorized.
Annie, I just noticed your shirt's a TLC shirt. You get cooler and cooler by the moment.
No, that's the network, not the group.
Oh, it is?
No, Sam, I'm just kidding.
I love the network, but it's the group on my shirt.
Of course it is.
Oh my gosh, Annie, thank you so much. DBL Nation, Freeform is making its animated debut with Praise Petey, premiering July 21st with 2 back-to-back episodes. So catch it the next day on Hulu. Ooh, is someone calling you there?
Sorry, I'm
That's
I'm blowing
okay.
up over here.
Yeah, who is it?
It's my friend.
It's the CEO of TLC.
Call him, sue me.
Let's get back to, so it's premiering July 21st with 2 back-to-back episodes. Catch it the next day on Hulu. We'll be right back. Thank you so much, Annie.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Aspartame is an artificial sweetener and is most commonly used as a sugar substitute in foods and beverages like diet drinks. But is it safe for you to consume? Open any article and you may find conflicting information. We took these concerns straight to the experts. Our source is Dr. Danielle Wyckoff, Director of Tox Strategies, Health Science Practice, and Dale Shepard, MD, an oncologist with the Cleveland Clinic. Wyckoff noted aspartame is used in many food products a lot of people might not even know contain it.
Can also be in chewing gums, yogurts, and other food types.
Wyckoff says it's a relatively simple compound that our body is able to metabolize quickly. And despite it being in a bunch of things, Wyckoff says the study shows aspartame is okay to ingest in moderation.
This means that globally, regulatory agencies charged with evaluating food safety continue to consistently conclude that aspartame is a safe food ingredient.
Dr. Shepard says the agency has 4 categories it uses to rank items for safety. Aspartame now falls into the possible carcinogenic to humans category, which means it ranks below known carcinogens like alcohol and tobacco. The agency says this falls under this particular classification because more research is needed to prove its harm. So our experts say consuming aspartame is generally safe, but too much of anything isn't good.
I think the bottom line is that we don't have good evidence that you should go to your refrigerator and clear it of all the diet sodas. Drink diet sodas in moderation.
Dr. Shepard says it's safe to consume 40 milligrams of aspartame per kilogram of body weight a day. So this means an adult who weighs 154 pounds would need to drink more than 9 to 14 cans of Diet Coke with aspartame a day to go over the acceptable daily intake. With your Verify Fact Check, I'm Megan Bragg.
Nearly all vehicles are tested to see how well they'll protect you in a crash. A viral Instagram post with more than 150,000 likes prompted safety concerns because it claims to show how various SUVs fared when they were rear-ended into a wall by a semi-truck. But several commenters questioned whether this video is actually real. So let's verify. Does this viral video show a real SUV crash test? Our sources are video game maker BeamNG, a search using video forensics tools Invid and Revi, and TikToker Old Tender Man. Verify used video forensics tools to trace the viral video back to this TikTok with the hashtag BeamNG, posted by user Old Tender Man. BeamNG is a video game where players can customize realistic-looking CGI vehicles and then simulate their handling and durability. TikTok user Old Tender Man tells Verify the video shows some of his in-game creations, and a spokesperson for BeamNG confirms the viral clip was created using their software. So, no, this viral video does not show a real SUV crash test. It's from a video game. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Welcome back. If you love to cook but don't love the joint pain that can occur in the kitchen, try these tips to prevent injury. It's time for some joint and muscle support brought to you by Omega XL. First, use tools for chopping and stirring like a food processor, mandolin, and a mixer. Next, for any tool that you do have to hold, make sure they have a large rubber grip to make handling easier. Lastly, try not to stand for long stretches. Sit at the kitchen table or on a stool to do all the chopping and prep work. Omega XL has improved the lives of millions of consumers. Supported by 30 years of clinical research, Omega XL's powerful and proven benefits have transformed the lives of athletes, celebrities, and dedicated daily users. Call 800-607-7643 or visit OmegaXL.com for more information. Or Tori, you have a little tip that you use, right?
I do. I stand on a chef's mat, which is a little bit of a squishy kind of mat in which chefs stand on to help their knees when I chop.
But you're not a chef.
Oh, speak for yourself.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we're out of time for more Chef Tori stories. We'll see you tomorrow.
It's a mat.
An hour a week.
Push it, Matt.